You either is or you ain't. You do or you don't. You can or you can't. Or you will or you won't. Either way, baby, a good man, well, he's hard to find. Welcome to the One More for the Good Guys podcast, where good guys gather to shed light on the good life, the people, and the good things that make it that way. I'm Mike McGill with my co-host, Jamie Akins. Now, raise your glass, lend us your ear, and let's have one more for the good guys. You either is or you ain't. You do or you don't. You can or you can't. Or you will or you won't. Either way, baby, a good man. Hey everybody, McGill Billy here.
And I'm Jamie.
Welcome to One More for the Good Guys. It looks a little different on your screen right now because we've got a really special guest episode to talk about coming up for Monday after you see this.
Yeah, 2 days from now.
Yeah, 2 days from now. And we had the pleasure of having our good friend from the great state of New York, Mr. Robert Glick, on the podcast with us. He does he has an Instagram page called Art de Fumar. That's ARTDEFUMAR. And that is for the art of smoking. He makes these beautiful, it's not focusing. There it is. He makes these beautiful lighters and cigar accessories, handmade, all out of different cigar labels. And I got to meet him a couple of years ago just through Instagram and spoke to him on the phone, and he was just a super nice guy. And I got to thinking about it for the new year and some of the stuff that we're doing, that we're going to start reaching out to some of these folks in the business and try to start having them on here so you can enjoy some of the wonderful worlds of cigars and some of the people in that world and the great things they have to offer. So be sure to check that one out.
Yeah, that'll be our first guest episode for season 2.
Right.
Brandon Fusen was our 1 year anniversary.
Right.
So I made that our last episode of season 1 so he could cap it off.
Right.
Season 2, the first guest episode will be Robert Glick.
Correct.
And you will be blown away. When he went and showed us on video, we did a Zoom call and he showed us a lot of his art and what he's done. I'm blown away.
In the studio.
We know the guy, right? We own stuff that he makes, and we were both blown away at this place and what else he's doing. So
just tremendous. I mean, This guy's art is second to none. He's actually doing a pick guard for my Telecaster, my Koa Telecaster, that my good friend Bob Woodcock built me in Hawaii. So
that'll be great.
That'll be really beautiful. But any rate, it's just a great episode, and I hope that you start liking that content as much as you have the stuff in the past. And like I say, we started this all out together as far as Jamie and I are concerned, and we started it all out together with you all of trying to, we went from shooting the shit to having different guests and trying to figure out what we were going to talk about and all that good stuff. And I think we're gaining on it.
Yeah.
As the old farmer says, you're gaining on it, son. But all of that being said, we also do want to thank you for the support, the likes, the subscriptions, the follows. Please keep that up. It is a complete 100% free way to support the channel. And it really does support and help our channels and our social medias. So you can find us online at One More for the Good Guys podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram,
TikTok,
Facebook, TikTok. just about all of the avenues there in social medias, as well as you can also find us at Good Guys Cigars. And we do have a website. Use your imagination to figure that one out. You can find us there. But we also have social media presence under that name as well. So go find the One More for the Good Guys page, and then find the Good Guys Cigars page, and click like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff.
And give us ideas, because we are, the Good Guys Cigars thing is what it is. But One More for the Good Guys, we're trying to narrow our focus and put out content that people want to see, because Mike and I did a lot of different things. So trying to narrow our focus, like I've been putting out these mixing tutorials for the way the podcast is done. I'm going to continue to do that. But, we may do some piano, guitar tutorials and things like that as we go, because we're in music. So make sure if you see us on the street or, know us, text us and say, hey, why don't you do an episode on pink elephants or whatever, Yeah,
we'll take all the suggestions. And also remember that the Good Guys, the guys part of that is us. And we also do guests with female guests as well. So
sure,
good guys and gals.
Guys, just like you would say, hey, those guys over there, and you mean every gender, right? So
exactly.
So I guess we had a bye week, right?
We had a bye week after a wonderful win
over Alabama.
We don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama, whole state of Alabama, whole state of Alabama. Don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. We're from Tennessee. So we got that out of the way.
We didn't get our scores right, but we got the W right. We both picked him to win, and boy, we did. Big win. I don't care how you feel about how it got done.
Yes,
A W is a W.
Absolutely. And it really reminded me of old school SEC football too. Hard hitting, things happening,
coming down to the end,
all over the field. I will say that it reminded the Alabama losing kind of reminded me of those years that Tennessee almost had the better team, but had subpar teams. They kind of lost in those same ways.
Right.
And I think that was a mirror image of Alabama this year versus Tennessee teams in the past. But
yeah, it's very nice to be on the other end of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The only thing I didn't like is they tore both goalposts down. Now, they didn't make it to the river with them, apparently. But you know what? I mean, it's great. And 2 years ago when you beat them and it was unexpected, whatever. But next year.
And they were ranked number 1.
Yeah. So, but next time, 2 years from now, we play them again here and we beat them. Leave the goalposts alone. Act like you've been there.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not going to be tearing goalposts down if they beat us in Tuscaloosa.
No.
No.
Of
course, they keep on this trajectory, they might.
Well, they might. After they get done burning down every trailer park and every Walmart in the state of Alabama, because the golden goose has gone.
What's your least favorite state, Kalen DeBoer?
Yeah,
Tennessee.
No shit.
0-2.
0-2. But we did have a bye week after that, and that'll be good for healing some of our guys up. A few injuries there. Can't say enough about our defense, man.
Best in the country. Number 1 defense in the country.
Golly, just playing,
in my opinion,
with their hair on fire.
That's right.
I mean, hustling. If he hadn't have made that, golly, I can't even think of his name now. Brooks. Is it Brooks?
The interception?
The kid, yeah.
In the end zone?
Well, no.
Oh, at the very end. The interception at the end of the game.
Well, he made that at the very end of the game, but the biggest play of the game was that first quarter when he stopped Milrose. There wasn't a Tennessean in sight until they got to the city of Chattanooga.
That's right.
He saved that touchdown. I mean, that was a huge, huge play. But we digress and we got to move forward. This week coming up, we got the University of Kentucky. And I feel about the same way about them as I do about Alabama.
Mostly because of the basketball, though.
Yeah.
Because they've been irrelevant in football my whole life, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they have beat us. But
the Kitty Cats from Lexington, in my opinion, are going to go down the same way the parading pachyderm of Alabama went down. And that's a callback for all you Leonard Losers fans out there.
And hopefully it's sooner in the game and by more points.
Yeah. Little football history versus University of Kentucky. We had the first game there was October 21st of 1893.
Which we lost.
Which we lost
56-0.
We have the edge in wins and losses over the series rivalry.
That might be the understatement of the century right there.
Yeah. We have 84 wins, 26 losses, and 9 ties. Our winning streak currently is 3 games, and our longest win streak was 26 games, and that was from 85 to 2010. Is that right, Jamie? Or 95?
85, 2010. Yeah.
Pardon me, folks.
That'd be about right. 26, because we play them every year. Yeah, that's right. 26 years.
Our longest losing streak was 4 games, and that was 1909 to 1912.
So who cares, right? Basically.
Our home record against the Wildcats are 44, 11, and 6. Our away record is 40, 15, and 3. Our conference record, 72, 15, and 3. Last 10 matchups, we were 8-2. Our largest margin of victory was 52-0. And our smallest margin of victory was 7-6 in 1936.
So according to this, I guess by the numbers, Kentucky's not always been in a conference, or we've not even always been in a conference when playing them.
Yeah, that's what it appears, doesn't it?
It's like we had 6 ties outside of the conference. I don't know. I'd have to research that to see.
Yeah.
I don't know how old the SEC, is. So maybe that was just pre-conference altogether.
It could have been.
It seems like Kentucky was an original SEC member like we are. But who knows? I hate Kentucky football. I hated Tim Couch. I hated Jared Lorenzen. Not the person. You know, Tim Couch was the highest ranked quarterback out of high school in history. Number 1. And went there. And he did fine. You know, he did well. But after that, he's been on the couch.
Busted harder than Jamar Russell.
And Jared Lorenzen, he passed away. He died this year, I guess, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was built like a lineman.
Yeah, and was the kicker. Right?
The quarterback.
No, quarterback. That's right.
And
I'm thinking about the guy that
I
played
said
at
this
the Raiders.
year, golly, man,
FSU.
time flies. He's been dead for 5 years. 19. Well, it's like that section of COVID, that those years don't count to me.
Yeah.
I said a year, but it's been 2019. Wow. That is crazy. Big boy.
Yeah.
The hefty lefty.
The Pillsbury throw boy.
Died at age 38.
That's a damn good nickname.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Heart and kidney problems. I don't know.
I've definitely been called worse. But I wasn't quarterback for a D1 school either.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the Kentucky-Tennessee football rivalry is, between the Kentucky Wildcats and Tennessee Volunteers. The border rivals have faced off on the gridiron since 1893, making it one of the oldest major series in college football. It was close in the early years. Both schools were charter members of the SEC when it was established in 1932.
Well, there you go.
So there's the math difference. Since that season, Tennessee has a 54-14-3 record against Kentucky.
That means we lost more to Florida in 2 decades than we have to Kentucky ever.
Yeah, since God said, "Let there be light."
Correct.
Wildcats did not win any games against the Volunteers during the 40s, 90s, or 2000s.
That would have been Neyland and Fulmer and Fulmer.
Yeah. Well,
ish. Till
yeah. 08, 09. Let's see here. The only decade of the SEC era in which Kentucky posted a winning record against Tennessee was the 1950s, and they went 6-3-1.
Well, look who's coaching.
Yes. However, as the Vols defeated Bear Bryant's led Kentucky Wildcat squad, its only defeat during its school best 11-1 season.
I had no idea that he coached at Kentucky.
Yeah, he was at Kentucky.
In Texas A&M?
In Texas A&M. I'm not sure if that might be flip-flopped. He might have been at A&M first and then went to Kentucky. I think that's right, but I could have it. My dyslexia could have kicked in. Who knows? The Kentucky-Tennessee game once involved a trophy. So you have lots of different trophies. Like, so Washington State, you had the Apple Cup. Purdue and Ohio State, you had the old wooden bucket.
Auburn, Alabama,
the Iron Bowl. Mississippi State and Ole Miss, the Egg Bowl, where they got the egg trophy. But with Kentucky and Tennessee, we played over something that was worthwhile, a beer barrel.
Coached at Kentucky and then A&M.
Okay. The barrel was painted half blue, half orange, which is awarded to the winner of the game every year from 1925 to 97. The barrel was introduced in 1925 by a group of former Kentucky students who wanted to create a material sign of their school's supremacy in the rivalry. It was rolled onto the field that year with the words "Ice Water" painted on it to avoid any outcries over an alcohol drum symbolizing a college rivalry during the Prohibition era. While the trophy was ceremonially awarded to the game's winner each year, it took some unauthorized trips over the years. Tennessee lost to Kentucky in 1953, but several orange-clad students kidnapped the barrel and kept it hidden in Knoxville until UK students retaliated.
Some of our kinfolks did that, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
One of us.
And then the UK students retaliated by dog-napping Smokey.
Oh, that'll get you killed. That was dangerous right there.
The barrel theft set in motion a series of additional pranks over the next few years between students of the two schools, but the barrel was not involved. Vanderbilt.
I like it.
Vanderbilt University students stole the keg from Kentucky in 1960 to rally support from cross-state UT students in an upcoming basketball game against Kentucky. The Commodores lost the game and returned the trophy months later. The end of the barrel era, a fatal alcohol-related crash involving two UK football players a week before the 1998 contest, prompted the end of the barrel exchange.
Like it was the barrel's fault.
Yeah.
Come on.
Kentucky Athletic Director C.M. Newton expressed the idea that ongoing use of an alcohol container as a trophy would be inappropriate under the circumstances. The ceremony was canceled for the 98 game, and the two schools mutually agreed to permanently discontinue the tradition before the 99 game. The actual barrel was in UT's possession when the schools ended the exchange, but its current whereabouts have not been made public. It has not been displayed since 97, and it was not transferred to Kentucky when the Wildcats broke the Volunteers' long series winning streak in 2011.
Sitting in Fulmer's basement.
Yeah. On November 12, 2019, Tennessee's tight ends coach Brian Niedermeyer posted a photo of the barrel on Twitter. So, and now I guess it's been known more so for the blood drive with Medic.
Right. Well, that's true.
So,
which I guess they started after they got rid of the barrel.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Even though they still refer to it, right, as the barrel game.
I guess they do. I'm not sure if they do or not. But we've had quite a few good games, some notable games In 2007, Tennessee came to Lexington looking to clinch the SEC East and a trip to Atlanta after a strong victory over Georgia and after Florida stumbled midway through the season. Kentucky came in with one of its strongest teams in years behind quarterback Andre Woodson and a huge upset over the then-ranked number 1 LSU. Looking to end a 22-game losing streak to the Volunteers, the game was a fierce, nail-biting overtime thriller as Woodson fought to end Kentucky's misery against Tennessee.
And I remember it says there that Arian Foster got that unsportsmanlike. I remember that.
Yeah.
Cost them, 15 yards, and then they had to stop at 40.
Yeah, with a score 44-44, an unsportsmanlike penalty on Arian Foster, running back for UT. Tennessee forced Tennessee to start both overtime from the UK 40-yard line, but it was rendered moot as quarterback Eric Ainge hit Quentin Hancock with a touchdown strike on the first play.
Wow. Quentin Hancock.
Tennessee would then make the 2-point conversion, and on Kentucky's possession, running back Derek Locke scored from 3 yards out to bring Kentucky within a 2-point conversion to keep the game alive. Woodson kept the ball himself on the try, but was stopped short, ending with a Volunteer victory. As a result, that year, Tennessee and Georgia finished their seasons with identical 6-2 records to lead the SEC East, but the Vols would move on to the SEC title game by virtue of the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Bulldogs. Tennessee would then lose the following week to the eventual two-loss national champion LSU.
Two-loss national champion. That won't happen again.
Maybe.
Well, maybe. I guess maybe it's more apt to happen now than it was then, huh?
Yeah.
Because if you get a two-loss team in, it's a free-for-all, which I like. I mean, hey, I like this 12. I mean, you haven't seen it manifest yet, but I like the idea of it.
Well, I'll tell you this much. College football has been about 1,000% more exciting since this has happened this season. And again, to harken back to the Alabama podcast we did earlier, I think it's some of the most exciting football I've seen in a long while.
And I wouldn't have guessed that based on the transfer portal and NIL and all that. I would have thought, man, this is really going to create. But now we've talked about this. This might be the only time I can remember that nearly every SEC team is capable of beating every other SEC team.
Yeah.
Maybe not Mississippi State, but hey, on any given Saturday,
yeah,
it's possible.
And listen, I've seen State come in here before when we were averaging 30 and 40 points a game or 20, 30 points a game, and we lose to them 9-6.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it in my lifetime. So
yep.
You just you can't never tell, as Chuck Berry once said. You never can tell. In 2009, Tennessee and Kentucky went to overtime once again after another nail-biting game ends tied at 24.
Almost got beat by a local boy.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb from Alcoa, and they didn't even talk to him, really, and he went up there. Well, yeah, had a pretty good pro career, too.
Very good pro career.
Of course, he had Aaron Rodgers throwing to him. That helped. But still.
That helped before Aaron went on his dark trips.
His sabbatical.
After a 3-and-out on the ensuing field goal missed wide left on the Vols' ensuing possession, Montario Hardesty broke off a 20-yard run for the game-winning touchdown in Lane Kiffin's lone victory against the Wildcats.
I like the way they wrote that, like he'd been playing them a lot.
Yeah.
It's because he was only here one season,
In 2011, after losing 26 straight games to Tennessee, the Wildcats finally notched a 10-7 victory against the Volunteers behind the play of wide receiver Matt Rourke, who has never been heard from again. He was forced to play under center as both quarterbacks, Maxwell Smith and Morgan Newton, were out with injuries. The loss is often regarded as one of the most embarrassing to Vol fans and one of the many black marks in the Derek Dooley era, as Dooley himself took the blame for the loss in an interview with Clay Travis in 2016, saying the team just wasn't ready to perform.
Ever, for the most part.
And in 2020, Kentucky ended a 17-game road losing streak in Neyland Stadium with a dominant 34-7 win over the Volunteers. Kentucky's defense had 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns in the game. And this was the Wildcats' first win in Knoxville since 1984. Kentucky's largest victory over Tennessee in the series since 1935. And the Wildcats' largest victory over the Volunteers in Knoxville since 1924. Mark Stoops became the first Kentucky head coach to beat Tennessee in both Lexington and Knoxville since Fran Kersey. The loss was one of several that contributed to the downfall of Tennessee coach Jeremy Pruitt while he was busy handing out cash in McDonald's bags.
Yeah.
Good grief. Who that following January would be ousted from the program following an NC investigation into improper benefits to players. If they'd just used Sonic or Crystal or Wendy's bags, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad.
Or maybe if they just hired the correct coach to begin with.
Poor old Jeremy.
Yeah, we had to run some really real doozies there for a while. But Stoops ain't no joke. You know,
no.
His brother's great coach, national champion, and Kentucky ain't no joke either. I'm not going to sit here. I wouldn't bet my life on this game. Certainly not after Arkansas, because I think Kentucky's probably better than Arkansas. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a toss up. You know, these games in November always get me thinking because. Again, I've seen the Mississippi States come in here and Kentucky's. Again, like I said, you know, and beat us 9-6 or 7-6 or whatever the case may be. You know, it's almost like it's almost like from a fan's perspective, from my perspective. I worry less about Georgia than I do these games. Honest to goodness, because against Georgia, you know, there's nothing to lose.
Well, and you also,
you know what I mean?
And as a player, you're probably not thinking I can skate through this one and win.
Right.
At Georgia. And I'm sure that hopefully they don't feel like that at all this year, but you know.
Well, hopefully this bye week won't be the same results of lackadaisical play. Hopefully they use this time. And I'm telling you, man, you know, say what you will, and we're still going to have all the Nico haters out there and this, that, and the other, but they're that close. They're that close of playing together. And I do think that with some of the play calling in the Bama game, that Heupel is not taking that long ball pass away from him on purpose, because he knows if he, you know, and again, this is all speculation. This is what I think. But I think he knows that it's only going to take that one.
Which he's had some.
Right.
And it's such a confidence booster. I don't think you can say don't throw it downfield.
No.
Now, you might have told your backup that.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
And, you know, hey, you're going to be in for one play maybe. If you don't have, I'm talking about somebody wide open, tuck it and fall on it.
Yeah.
And that didn't get said, or if it did, somebody didn't follow instructions. But I'm with you. I think that he's a kid, man.
He's a kid, and he's, you know, as much as you love having those 107,000 people cheering for you, we all know this as well, that there's 107,000, you know, they're ready to do this or do this, you know. I mean, that's just that's the sport. I don't agree with it, but that is the sport, and it just looks to me like he's, you know, he's just really in his head. He's in his own head a lot.
I agree with that.
And you know, those throws that he could have made that much, a decision that much sooner, or the decision just to tuck it and get 4 yards on a scramble, or is big, and he's just not. He's looking to try to get that spark.
Yeah.
And I think as long as they're playing, if they figure it out and settle in, not settle down, but settle in and get everything clicking and playing together, that offense is set up for that kind of spark. That spark's going to be there. It'll come. But you can't make those freshman decisions of trying to lateral the ball or trying to throw the ball when you've already gained, or when you could gain 6 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards, and it's got to be extremely difficult for, you look at Mahomes last year. Until he decided to settle down and take what the defense was giving him, we thought Kansas City was over.
Yep.
Now, granted, guess what? They had a kick-ass defense and still do, which is going to keep you in a lot of games, but and it's going to win you a lot of games. But you can't be one-dimensional, or you'll be like Iowa.
Chiefs just got better too.
Yeah, they
just
did.
Signed DeAndre Hopkins. Well, we say it all the time in baseball, and I think this is something that needs to be said for the football team and for football fans.
To hell with the Yankees.
Well, yeah, that's what you say. Small ball.
And that's what matters. Let's not kid each other.
Okay. But they need to play small ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything doesn't have to be a home run, and, dumping it across the middle for 5 yards, or like you said, tucking it and going. I think something that escapes us as fans is this. Of the big three sports, okay, it is the one that is least likely to be dominated by a single individual.
Yeah.
If you're super athletic in basketball, you can dominate at this level, at college level, because you don't have people hitting you all the time. You're protected from violence, or so you can use your quickness and things like that to get to the ball. If you're not hitting shot from outside, okay, drive to the hole.
Yeah.
That's what Jordan did. Baseball, half the game's one-on-one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm up there hitting by myself, not having to depend on my catcher blocking somebody so I can get around the end. But in football, there's only so much that natural talent and speed can do. Because
fact,
especially if you're not the quarterback, because you're always dependent on somebody to hand you the ball. In Nico's case, I think that played way too much Madden growing up. And, in Madden, it's all about let's run up the stats, let's run up the score, let's throw. And, it's easy. And then real life hits you and you're like, okay, pull Tom Brady here. Okay, I could take 4 yards. Give me 4 yards. You know what? 20 of those and I'm in the end zone. Right?
Yeah.
So, and every now and then I'm going to get a 7, 15, 12, whatever yarder. And that's how you play. We've been playing from behind. It's 2nd and 25.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, hell, I know what you're going to do now.
Yeah.
You're going to throw. So I think if they'll play small ball, and the other point I wanted to make is that football is even two-dimensional from offense to defense. If your defense is super athletic, you're going to be you're a troublemaker.
Yeah.
You're going to be trouble for offenses. So natural ability on the defensive side is easier to attain success on the defensive side than it is on the offensive side from up front. So I think that if he'll settle down, like you said, they need to settle in, and they need to take the focus off of Nico. Let Nico grow up. Let Nico do what he done, and then put the focus on that running back who can handle it. Okay, because he's getting ready to break a single season Tennessee record for touchdown rushes. He's going to blow that out of the water. And he's a gamer. He's a gamer, and he's a winner, and he's a leader. Okay,
he's a leader,
and it's
and a game changer.
Yeah. So, and Nico's going to be that. He's going to be that. But right now, he is all talent, all this ability, and discipline that's got to be honed down. You can't, and if he'll do that, this team, I'm just going to say it. If that offense shows up, this Tennessee team's unbeatable this year.
Well, and that's the thing,
Defense is that good.
The defense is that good. And here's the other thing, that I'll say is any of you sitting out there watching this and any of you that made preseason predictions, if you didn't say 9-3 or 10-2, I'll personally kiss your ass because, that's what everybody thought. That's what I thought. I said 9-3, 10-2.
Well, you look at that schedule, you see Bama and Georgia.
Exactly.
All right. And you think, that's going to be tough.
Exactly. So I say that to say this is I think and I believe that we're playing on, for lack of a better term, we're playing with house money right now. We're still in a really good position to finish. God forbid, or lost to Georgia, but we're in that position to finish 10-2. And that's as good as anybody out there expected. So lay off the big orange Kool-Aid and pull us through here on Saturday. Let's handle our business.
And I think they will.
And I think we will too. But let's focus on that and then let the chips fall where they may. These rankings and this preseason and bowl prediction, all that shit don't mean nothing if you don't win on Saturday.
That's right. That'll mean nothing.
Of any Saturday.
That's right.
Whether it's Kent State, UTC, UTEP, our sister of perpetual sorrow, it don't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. You got to win Saturday against Kentucky, and that's just that's the bottom line. And then at the end of the year, the chips fall where they may, and we figure out where we're going to be and what we're going to do. And we're certainly in the driver's seat to handle our own destiny. Take care of our own destiny.
We started the season just like every other team. If you
there you go.
Because if you win, you basically, like you said, you handle your own destiny, and we're still in that position. Yeah. We're not dependent upon anybody else to make that playoff but us, and that's where you want to be. And I do not think it's a foregone conclusion that Georgia beats us.
Yeah,
I don't think that Kirby Smart thinks that either. I hope he does think that, but no pun intended, he's too smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see what they did to Texas. They're the best team. And realistically, I told somebody this on the phone. Georgia was the best team last year too. Ask Florida State.
Yeah.
Florida State was pissing and moaning about being 13-0 and not making it to the playoffs, and Georgia didn't make it to the playoff, and Georgia beat them 63-3.
Yeah.
And then you see what Florida State and shit the bed in game one and what they've done. So Georgia was the best team last year. Nobody's more thankful about them not making the playoffs than Jim Harbaugh.
No kidding.
And Tennessee controls its own destiny.
Yeah.
And I think this game's no different. I think that Tennessee's going to roll through them. I think that by the time you get you look at that tape, Alabama, especially if this is a day game, but it's home. This ain't going to Arkansas. You're sleeping in your own bed. You've got your own, It
is a night game.
It is? Okay, because they said TBD. I couldn't find it.
I'm pretty sure it's a night game.
Okay, so it's going to be, by then it's going to be cold. But Tennessee, 35-14. I think it's a blowout.
All right, that's your pick.
35-14, yeah.
All right, I like that. I'll say this. The one shining light about any team out there, Texas had a good defense, but they hadn't played the level of talent that the SEC offers. And they found out what it was all about Saturday. But I'll say this. until those teams have played us and played against our defense, then they've not played against the best talent either.
That's it. Our defense is the best in the country.
I mean,
on any and consistently.
Yeah.
Without our defense, what's our record?
Yeah.
2 and something.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you lose against Bama, you lose the Florida game. You obviously lost the Arkansas game with them. You've got 3 losses right there minimum.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%.
So,
well, 35-14, you say? I'm going to say, because I loved him as Vol, I'm going to say Greg Amsler for Tennessee, which would be 47. And Kentucky, I think they're going to get 12.
47-12. Now, both scores mean one thing. That means that Tennessee.
That's what I think.
That if in order for and you know, we said this before. I'm not on these shows. I'm not picking Tennessee to lose ever. So don't look to us to bet stuff because we're homers, and you know there's plenty of analysts out there that try to, you know, if you want somebody pick Tennessee to lose, watch the Feinbaum show because they picked them to lose last week and he was fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm not picking them to lose, and I think
I'm about over him.
Me too. I don't understand the popularity. I'd ask him right to his face too. I don't understand why you're so popular because you piss me off.
And he's a graduate of Tennessee.
I know he is.
And he's a homer for Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Every year.
Well, guess what? You were wrong this year.
Yeah.
But those scores that we just said, that means Tennessee's offense wakes up.
Yeah.
And if that happens, Kirby Smart's going to take notice. Watch and see.
Oh, you better believe it.
Because he's already got one loss to a team they shouldn't have lost to.
Yeah. Well, and he'll know it's a 2-headed monster now.
Yeah.
It's not just a one-dimensional thing, which is hard enough to overcome, but it'll be a 2-headed monster if they settle in and start working together. I don't see how Kentucky can stop them.
I don't think Kentucky's in the same league with us this year. I mean, I know it's close last year, but I don't think they can play with us either.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get we have the luxury sitting here not having to play the game to look ahead to Georgia, and I don't want them to do that.
No.
I want them to,
no.
I don't even know who they got after Kentucky, really. But, Vanderbilt's not a foregone conclusion either after what they did. And so you got Mississippi State, Georgia, UTEP, and Vandy. So, you don't want to overlook Mississippi State either because they're primed to beat somebody. So anyway, I think Kentucky they're going to get it handed to them.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 7:30 or 7:45.
Okay, yeah,
they got it up there now.
Right. Man, it's a lot of night game. Next day games in Georgia.
That'll be a slobber knocker there.
Yeah, it says
to quote our old buddy JR.
Says or 6 to 8 p.m. So they don't know yet.
Yeah,
that'll be if Tennessee comes into that with no more losses than they have, and Georgia does too. You could be looking at number 1 and number 2 playing each other right there.
Yeah,
maybe
could be.
And if that's the case, it'll be a night game. It'll be SEC game of the week and game of the week and everything else.
We got to handle our business. What's the other games you're looking forward to?
Next week, let me look at that. I haven't really.
I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the LSU Texas A&M game.
Is that the same week or is that this?
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's that's already happened.
Right. Yeah. We're because we have a bye week this week.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
But week 10, that Ole Miss at Arkansas is going to be right. There's several games I want to see. Ole Miss at Arkansas and Texas A&M at South Carolina. Look here. You got Ohio State at Penn State.
Yeah,
Same week.
that'll definitely be a big one. Oregon's at Michigan. Michigan ain't got nothing.
No.
Uh,
Florida and Georgia.
Florida and Georgia, that's always a tough game. I don't think they got anything for them, but it's nonetheless, it's still a tough game.
Yeah, that's about all
Big
I see.
rivalry.
About all I see.
Yeah. What about, well, we don't need to talk about that. We're already past it, but.
Well, this will air after the fact, but that Notre Dame Navy game, I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I'd like to see the midshipmen
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
beat the piss out of those leprechauns.
It's at Navy. So, I mean, that hopefully will be give them a little good juju there. And,
Illinois, Oregon.
Yeah.
That'll be, I'm
not sold on Oregon being the number one team.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
No.
I think the number one team is
and I think
Georgia.
Yeah, and I think Bama boat races Missouri.
Oh God. Missouri, how they got to be number 9 in the preseason, that was a big miss. But there's a lot of parity. They like I said, everybody's good enough to beat everybody right now. So a lot could happen between now and then. This is the first time in a long time I've been excited to watch college football as a whole.
Yeah.
I like what Heupel's done, and I like the buzz around the other sports, but I've been watching other games too, and I'm like, damn, man. NFL, listen, I know you're not listening, but the NFL needs to listen up. This playoff thing, I've said this for years, once college football fixed their postseason thing, which it seems like they're headed that way, NFL market share is going to go down.
Well, could be.
Now, granted, they play on different days. I get all that and whatever. But as far as being, they've been untouchable for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I think that college sports, especially college football, is going to really, you're going to start seeing a lot more of that. So,
and by the time this airs as well, will be how many games in the World Series?
Be over.
Congratulations, by the way. You guys made it.
Yeah. The first game's
Friday night.
Friday the 25th. And this will air a week later. So it will be close. It could be over.
Yeah.
I guess. That's they made it, and that's what Major League Baseball wanted. That's what everybody wanted. Really.
Yeah.
That
they would never dare admit it. But.
No. But I mean, it's got to be good for.
Oh,
you got the 2 biggest markets, 2 biggest teams.
Well, you had, last year between the Diamondbacks and Rangers, you had 8 million watching.
Right.
I bet this one will be 15 million. And that's not counting Japan. Right.
So it was only 8 million watched the World Series?
I think so.
Said that 14 million watched the Guardians-Yankees thing postseason. So viewership is up. So the game 6, it'll be close to over.
Yeah.
It's only a week long. So by the time this will air on November 2nd, you already have played 6 games if they need 6 games. I got a feeling it's going to go 7.
Could. Yeah, very well could be.
And I thought, why did I think it was at New York?
Brain rot.
Are they not doing the All-Star game winner anymore? Is that gone away?
I think so, yeah. It's the best record.
So it's the best overall record.
I think
gets
so,
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
LA's got home field.
Okay. Well, that's tough right there.
Yeah.
That's a tough place to play. That's another episode. But, yeah, World Series, this is a good time. I enjoy October. Even when, and Yankees haven't been in it in 15 years, so I've always been watching somebody else, but I still always watch the World Series.
Yeah.
Or at least part of it.
I try to always watch it as well. But I think that's it, and that's that.
Yeah.
If you want to, you'll see this on the Saturday of the game. So if you want to come down and watch the game with the good guys, we will be at Trailhead watching the games with the University of Tennessee and Kentucky game with a bunch of other volunteer fans. They're their blood runs orange down there at Trailhead. So come out and see us. We'll probably have a few things with us to talk to you about, and come out and have a libation and maybe smoke a cigar with us.
Smoke a cigar. Their blood runs orange, and their breath's going to run smoky gray. It's all going to be smoking Victory cigars again. So
there you go.
come down to Trailhead Beer Market. That's in South Knoxville, right on the river.
Yeah, good place, great place. They got 2 big screen TVs, easy to see from all the directions, and you'll definitely have a good time.
Yeah, great beer, good seating inside and out. I mean, there's really no downside of that place.
Yeah.
Good parking right there.
Yeah,
You can park right there. So, and great folks on that place, and Mike plays there a lot. So, anyway, Tennessee in a landslide. I don't think it's close.
yeah, I think so. You want to do another one?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. Folks, thanks again for all the support. Please keep it up. Please keep sharing, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff to the social medias. One more for the Good Guys on social media and Good Guys Cigars on social media. We also have a website for that one. Use your brain. You'll figure it out. Drop us a like, drop us a comment, give us some feedback. We appreciate all that stuff, and always be kind to one another. Anybody can be an asshole. It doesn't cost anything to be kind, but there's always a price to be paid for cruelty.
That's right.
Life's too Life's too short to smoke bad cigars. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
One more for the good guys.
You either is or you ain't. You do or you don't. You can or you can't. Or you will or you won't. Either way, baby, a good man, well, he's hard to find.